This is retarded, I'm spending live streaming.
You're live streaming the debugging.
Video TMI Jack.
In case they can't hear me.
Hey, that's working.
Hey guys, I think we're back with audio finally. Oh man, man, oh man, oh man. Let's see if still nothing. Coming through. Sick. Hello. We've finally figured out that it's all working.
Whoever said Apple is to blame, they're the king.
Yeah, we blame Apple. Coming from a previous Apple fanboy, that's a pretty big deal, right? All right, let's move that out of the way. All right, so no one heard the intro, which is hilarious. So, do you want to just roll it again?
I think they did hear the intro. I'm not
Oh,
really
okay. Dan loves that intro so much.
But I just cut into it.
No, don't.
Oh, I was going to do it. I was no regrets.
All right, guys. I'm Dan. This is Nick. Nick's a cool guy. He works with us doing some IoT stuff. Well, technically, he's got his own gigs, and we just help him out when need be. I'm Dan. I run a web agency, but I also try and build startups, or at least I attempt to. And tonight we're going to look at planning out a startup. The startup we're going to be working on is Mental Better, which is a MVP version 2 or minimum viable product version 2 of a previous product we released called Mental Me. Yeah, so what is Diamond Dev for anyone who wants to know? We're just trying to build a network of YouTubers, streamers, whatever. Try and get more people doing programming, more people talking about like health, VR, gaming, that kind of stuff. Just create a bit more of a community around it. And also being a little bit more diverse and trying to use multiple platforms as well, so you're not stuck down to things like YouTube where they start blocking you and demonetizing you. So trying to make it more open. So plan tonight is we're going to go through the Mentor Better planning document. I'm going to start trying to type it out. Some of my thoughts behind it, why we're building it, the way we're building it, what we're trying to achieve. Then we're going to try and use that document to start creating some stories, which is an agile word for effectively tasks in this project management system called Aura, which you can see here. It's super, super sexy. And then we may start some work, do some coding tonight if time permits. Otherwise, we'll cut it there and try and do a better produced and less buggy video next time. All right. So I reckon let's get into it. Just triple checking if you're on chat. Just let us know if you can hear us or not. If you can't, then you're probably not going to reply to us. So this will be interesting. All right, cool. So let's start with the Mental Better planning document. So explain what Mental Better is. Mental Better is designed to help like co-working spaces, organizations deal with what we call steps 1 and step 4 of the mentoring process. So step 1 is bringing, well, actually, sorry, I meant step 2 and 4 is what we're trying to deal with. Step 1 is bringing a whole bunch of mentors and mentees together, matching them, that sort of thing. Step 2 is managing that process. So when they're booking time, when a mentor is going to be at a location, who can go see them, notifying people, that sort of stuff. Step 3 is the mentoring program. So what are they actually going to do during that mentor stage? We don't make any assumptions about that because, you know, different mentoring programs are going to work for different organizations. So there's no point in us saying, hey, use this. And then step 4 is getting metrics behind that. So we really want to give organizations an idea behind, you know, what the mentors are doing, what the mentees are doing, how they're doing, and how well that process is going, because you can have like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of mentoring availability in your business. And if you use that, you want to see the cost being alleviated by, like, you know, increasing your employees' productivity and that sort of thing. So that's what we're trying to aim for. So, so we've got a few topics that we want to cover tonight as far as planning documents concerned. I want to go through how we onboard mentors, how we onboard a mentoree, which I'm using because I hate the word mentee. Apparently both mentoree and mentee are acceptable, but mentor-e, just, I don't know. What do you think? What do you like better, mentee or mentoree?
I think because you like mentoring, I think I like. I'm gonna be that guy.
So Hayden, your job has been taken. Nick is now my official. Everything Dan says, I'm gonna go against guy.
Oh, I could never do it to the extent that Hayden does it.
That's true.
Crazy.
He's just neck level.
Yeah, no regrets.
All right, let's have a look now. So mentor onboarding. So I sat down with the other co-founder, and we went through some of the ways that people can be onboarded. And so we've got this massive butcher paper to try and go through it. So I'm going to stick this over to the side where you guys can't see the ugliness of it, despite the fact that we are technically in a garage with a whole bunch of stuff behind us. And we'll try and go through each step of the mentor onboarding. So one of the ways a mentor might want to come on board to an organization, we might say, you might have someone, let's just say Steve Baxter. Steve Baxter is the copyright of Steve Baxter. We do not own Steve Baxter or his name. Steve Baxter is all rights reserved of the copyright holder.
He loves it. If you're watching, Steve, sorry.
Yeah, we apologize. All right, so if Steve Baxter wants to come visit Fire Station 101, which is a co-working space in Ipswich, so Steve Baxter visiting Fire Station 101, he's probably going to do that. He's probably going to initiate that and say, by an email and say, I'm coming. The world's going to end because I'm going to break your presuppositions. That's a big word, presupposition. I should look up every time I say a big word, Nick, you should look it up, the dictionary definition, and then just be like, presupposition, and then just like go through the definition.
Here we go. I'm going to be the official. Oh, you didn't actually type it.
No. I'm in the area on Tuesday.
I already forgot what the word was.
Presupposition. I'd like to leave 4 hours open to members of Fire Station. Which is pretty cool. Steve Baxter is an awesome guy. Just drop in like that, we'd be pretty impressed.
10 out of 10.
What?
10 out of 10, no.
Yeah, that's right. So then we probably want to we want to get that into the mentoring system so everyone can be alerted. So what we'll say happens next is that whoever they've which is probably going to be the coordinator of the fire station, they're just going to reply with a meeting request. Reply with a meeting request, and they're going to CC in mentor, I don't know, CC in like hookup at no meet up at mentor better .today, or I just use com because that's better for the mail. And so what's going to happen then is we have the mentor, we're going to say, are they in the system already? And if not, we're going to say, we're going to email them a link. We use mentor better to alert our people about that you'll be joining us. Could you tell us a bit more about yourself? And then if we do have them in there, we want to immediately send a notification to everyone who has subscribed for notifications about that mentor. And if they haven't, we'll also email everyone who's opted into new mentor emails. And then that way, everyone can find out that wants to find out. Trickers 5. So that's one way to get a mentor on board. The other way to get a mentor in the system is to be manual entry. Manual entry by a coordinator. And I reckon the other way that we might get them in the system is we might send an invitation link by logging in by the coordinator, logging into the letter and entering the email. Cool. Now let me just check this mighty butcher document. All right. Yeah. Now, there's another thing that happens in here as well. If they never add themselves into the system, we'll send reminder emails up until the date that they're going to be there. And then if they rock up and like, no one's coming to see me, well, that's probably because you didn't put your information in the system, and that's totally fine. Otherwise, we might say, if they book in more time, so, they're like, I'm also coming in Wednesday, for instance. I'm also coming in Wednesday. Then what we're going to do from there is we're going to say, hey, we really need your details to make the most of your time. Here's the link to confirm. And then that makes sure that we can try and like push them into that mentor onboarding funnel. Now, just checking, are we getting any like chat on any other platforms? Because I'm not seeing anything coming through the I'm not seeing anything coming through Restream. And I know Brayson had problems when he streamed the other day.
I don't think I got any.
I can't hear you because you're not talking loud enough for the mic.
Really?
Yeah, that's better.
I can check it out.
Cool. So the other thing, the next thing we want to look at is mentoree onboarding. So a mentoree or mentee is someone who is part of the organization, most likely, and they want to get mentored. So I just want to keep in mind that there might be some people out there that are looking at this and saying, yeah, how can this help my coaching business? This is not for coaching businesses yet. So we're not making this that you can charge out for your coaching or anything like that. This is primarily to make organizations like co-working spaces, councils, that kind of stuff, really make use of the mentors they have in the organization, from your CEOs all the way down to your, your really technically skilled team members. So that's not something we're going to look at the moment, because, yeah. Anyway, so onboarding a mentoree. I nearly said mentee. Maybe it is going to be mentee from now on. Let's have a look. So mentoree onboarding. So the first way is we can have a bulk import from like a Excel spreadsheet. We can have a coordinator log in and add an email manually. And we can also have a registration page. So for these two, what we want to do is we want to send registration emails out to the customers. And then with this one, we want to do the same thing as well, send registration email. So we'll be able to use the same code for that when we get to it. Now the registration page, we're just going to register them in. So add to system.
Still no audio. Now you can see there's volume through here as well. Yay! At least that works. Oh man, this is mucked up. Alright, just quickly listen. Mute. I'm legit not getting any through here. People don't live stream. Yeah, this is exactly why people don't live stream. Like there should be audio. Oh, it's there, it's just super cool. Hey. Weird. Learn how to use some. One, two. Hey. 1, 2. Yeah. Weird. I cannot hear anything. Yeah. We were working the other day. Weird. Really? Can streams here? Alright, let's see. Anyone hear us? Still nothing? I reckon that PC might need a reboot. Which one? I don't know. Oh, look, it's back. Everyone reckons it's back now. Hey. Oh, thank goodness. So we have no clue what's gone wrong. It just... freaking weird. Like, everything was showing sound levels going through, but you guys couldn't hear anything, so... who knows? Hopefully this doesn't derail our stream every 5 minutes, because that will get old very quickly. Alright. Well, hello everyone, again. Glad to have you. Maybe I need to kind of like lower this and put this over the top and see if that changes anything. Just readjusting audio on the fly. You know, as you do. That's not touching the mic, is it? No. Just making some noises on it. Probably should mute while I do that, but whatever. Alright, let's see. And then we'll tilt it up a little bit. And then maybe I don't have to cover my face anymore. Maybe we're lucky. Oh, yeah. It's just Nick's mic that's coming through now. Sick!
We lost my mic.
No. I can hear your mic. I was just saying that every time I speak loud enough, yours gets triggered.
Ah.
Cool beans. Okay, so where was I? Notifications? Yeah, so let's have a look at some notifications. So we want to get a notification when a mentor opens up mentor's time. Here's an apostrophe because that was confusing to look at. Get a notification when a mentor's time opens up and I'm subscribed. Get a notification if a new member is added and I've turned on new mentor notifications. What else do I need to be notified about? Get notified when my booking is coming up. Get asked to fill a post-session survey. Fill out a post-session survey. Excellent. And get constantly bugged to fill in a survey. Now, that's actually one thing I have to do somewhere. Maybe let's have a look. Diary for previous. No, not a diary. Where's the? Okay, cool. Here. So we do surveys at the end of each session, so we can track how the mentoring session went. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to prevent login or booking actually probably not login, prevent booking a new session without completing the previous survey. I think that's going to be like a no for the MVP though, because that's going to take so long to get done, because it's going to be like when they click a button, we say, hey, thanks for submitting your feedback, but you can't actually do that until you've completed this survey. Like that's just going to not work. Yeah, have a look. All right. Wow, apparently we have done 54 minutes of streaming, and I feel like I've barely got anything done here.
Now let's remember that 40 minutes of that has been
like debugging.
Yeah, debugging.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, much frustration. All right, so we've dealt with scheduling, notifications, mentoree profiles. So a mentoree, we want to know what industry, or actually, do they have a startup? Actually, no, that's pretty specific to an organization. Maybe we're just going to ask them for their name. We want to know who they are, what they want to get from mentoring, a little bit about themselves, and maybe some contact information. And then we'll sort of copy that and paste that into the mentor profiles. But this time we want to ask what they offer. What can you bring to the mentoring table? And a bit more information about them and contact information. That's a nice simple MVP level of stuff. We might look at areas of interest in here as a tag, so like little keywords to determine what areas of interest they have for mentoring, and then we'll do the same thing for mentor profiles, except we'll say area of expertise, which is also be a tag, and that allows us to do some sort of nice little meta searching via keywords, which should be good. Now, if only I could log into Twitch.
Get that chat.
Right.
Get that chat.
Yeah, I don't know if the chat is working for it. I thought it was. Can't log into the account right now. And I haven't been given a reminder email from them, so I think they just blocked me. Cool beans. Sitting up straight, back up straight. So just want to point out a really important part of coding and being able to do it for a long time is correct posture, which I'm not very good at. But if you don't have a nice straight back, you know, even if you go piano man stance where you're sitting on the end of your chair, back up straight and you're coding, ideally you want the top of your screen's like level eye height, so you've got good ergonomics. I mean, I've got a nice ergonomic keyboard, stop repetitive strain industry. Repetitive strain industry is a great industry to be in. No, but I think that's really important, especially if you're sitting in front of the computer for long periods of time. You want to make sure that when you get up, you move about, you're not going to have back issues for the rest of your life. Especially for a lot of the young coders out there who are spending 12, 36 hours in front of the computer just like hackathon coding. You guys need to look after your bodies.
Sure, that's what they're doing that amount of time.
Yeah. They're not watching YouTube videos or gaming on their Xbox or anything like that during that hackathon at all. No.
They're doing it wrong then.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, all right, cool. So back into it. So the diary part is really simple. We just ask, well, actually, we've already got the diary part in here. Make a note of your mentoring session. So all we need to do here is see previous sessions, and it's going to be like a list view. And we're going to sort of make it a bit like an email. So you see like a list of all the sessions you've done, which you can arrange by, let's write that down. You can arrange it by mentor or by session time. And then just like a little message view that shows the diary that you wrote for it, plus the feedback that the mentor gave. We want to allow them to be able to switch orgs. So when they sign up, they need to be signing up. Let's have a look at customer onboarding. So we need to, if they're registered using Cobalt, it's going to be against an existing organization. If they get an invitation, again, it's against a single organization. And the registration form is against a single org. However, if they use, oh wait, that's the wrong one. We want mentoree onboarding. No, I don't think there's any situation there where they're going to need to know which one they're signing up to. I'll come back to that later. And it's the obligatory late night yawn. Alright, so yeah, switching orgs should be just a matter of click on the user's profile image. And that's something we've already missed from our profiles up here, so let's just quickly add them. This is a really great document because we're just like punching out a bunch of ideas, and so when we get to like chucking this stuff into Aura to do our project management, it's going to be like really clear, really defined set of guidelines, and hopefully we've thought of almost everything that we need to think about. So let's have a look now. So yeah, click on the user's profile image, which opens a drop-down menu. Oh, that's annoying. Drop-down menu. And then we have a org button, which allows them to like select from a list of organizations they're a part of. Select from list of orgs. All right, so now analytics is really interesting. So for the front end and for the back end, but the front end first, we're going to use Google Analytics. But then on top of that, we're going to use Keen.io. And if we have a look at Keen.io, what it is that you can just send it like JavaScript objects, and if you don't know what JavaScript objects are, look up JSON, JSON. And we send JSON objects to Keen, and Keen allows us to create a whole bunch of analytics and that sort of stuff, and like troll the information to get what we want out of it. So you can see we did some of that stuff with Mentor Me. Hopefully none of the data appears.
Yeah, so we can do all these cool little like analytics based on the information that we get. So we'll send that off to Keen.io, but also on the back end we're going to create some code-based Keen.io. And the reason we do that is then we can get analytics for what's happening in the back-end application as well. So if we see any bugs or anything, they might appear a little bit earlier than we want. So all right, let's try and go planning some APIs. So the kinds of objects that we have, we've got users. Users have profiles, of which there are mentor and mentee types of users. We have standard and admin users. In fact, that's going to be that standard or admin is actually going to be meta against an organization. So they're going to be like, or in this organization they're an admin, but in another one they're not. And that's pretty important to get right, because what we don't want to happen is to get a new user onboarded and realize that anyone who has admin in one can admin them all. There's going to be a meme for that.
A meme.
Admin them all.
Unfortunately,
we don't support memes.
No.
You're going to have that microphone close to your mouth because it keeps cutting out before you finish your conversation.
It's if I take a step back too.
Because it sounded like then. It's just if I take a back.
Okay, well that was not on me. They're not that far away.
But it's so the level of your voice triggers it. So if you're talking really quiet like this, cut out.
Sorry.
Oh gosh, I apologize to everyone for that. All right, so we got users, we got profiles, we have diary entries. We also have feedback, which is from those session surveys. We also need organization. What else do we need? Let's have a look. Admin portal, profiles, notifications. Yeah, we're going to need a notifications table. And something to do with scheduling as well. All right, let's have a look. So notifications. And we need, what was it, scheduling? So like sessions. Yeah, something like that. That's pretty much going to be most of the API, I think, for now. It's already complicated as it can be, as I want it to be. All right, so I think it's a fairly laid out document, gives us an idea about where we're going. So the next step is to start chucking some tasks into Aura. So the first thing that I'm probably going to look at is we might actually just discuss technologies and what technologies we're going to use behind the scenes just to get things up and running ASAP. And now for all the haters, PHP.
No, don't do that.
There we go.
Oh,
man. So
I disagree.
Why would I do PHP? That's a good question.
Noob.
Yeah. So let's take a risky Reddit query and see if we can find something to do with PHP and see what everyone seems to complain about. Because I'll admit, I'm the kind of person who really doesn't like PHP all that much either. And so for me to choose it for a startup, you'd be like, oh, why are you doing that? Yeah, there's a good reason. So on behalf of PHP, I would like to apologize. that's a great start. After carefully reviewing this bug report with our board of directors on 4chan, we will try to stop fixing bugs in PHP.
See,
wow.
There you go. There's an alarm straight off the bat.
Flawless PHP logic. Stir to time. 0 means 2000. Wow. That's actually pretty big. That's a massive bug. But let's see what version it is in, because that was 1 year ago, and that previous one was 5 years ago.
An apology is never too old.
Status not a bug. So I think at this moment, we've gone from being a, hey, this is how we're planning our startup, to being a rag on PHP meme show.
The PHP brag meme show.
I mean, it became a meme the second you decided to find it. It's on Reddit.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's have a look. PHP 5.3 devs make fun of themselves posting XKCD in the manual. Oh, wow, that's hilarious. All right, so long story short, why would I use PHP? All right, the first reason I would use PHP is because I've been coding PHP for my agents, like for the agency's main client, for a very long time, and it's mostly PHP. We do some Python, we do some Node.js, but most of it's the main core systems are all in PHP. Why is it in PHP? Because it's really quick to rapidly prototype stuff. Yes, it's not all that secure. Yes, it's not Python. Yes, it's not Go and statically typed. But it can do some awesome stuff. And one of the main reasons why I'm okay to use PHP is because of something called Falcon. Falcon PHP is, in fact, the only reason I would use PHP at all. And that's because Falcon is a C extension into PHP's engine, which means that all of like your usual framework classes and that kind of stuff are just there as part of the runtime of PHP. That means things go so much faster. I remember back in the day, like CodeIgniter, 50 SQL requests, 20 file includes or more just to get a web page loaded, and that was every time. And then you had to add memcached into it, and if you could, you'd statically compile as many pages as possible. It was really crazy. Whereas Falcon, like, you should still do that stuff, but it is way faster. So if we take a look, let's see, their docs have absolutely stunk lately. I've had to like message them like, hey, where's all the tutorials? And in fact, yeah, there's a tutorial section and it just has performance under it. It's like, what? So apparently there's a section called core. Here we go, core API index. Apparently that's the tutorial. So they used to have really, really great tutorial documents. They don't anymore. Lucky you can still Google cache them. So, oh man, I'm on live stream, nearly convincing myself of choosing PHP right now.
Well, that's I think the conclusion we all wanted you to come to.
Man, it's just like this documentation is terrible. It really is. Okay, it's good from an API standpoint, but like, if I wanted to learn how to put all this stuff together, there is no way I could even figure out where to start from here. Like, there's a getting started section which starts an installation, then web server setup, then Falcon Compose, then like development tools, and then we go core API index or application full. Oh, that's where it is. This whole thing is but then it doesn't even tell you where to go next for the next stage of the tutorial. So long story short is, I don't know if I can push Falcon. Oh wait, look at this single module. Damn, I don't know if I can push this on live stream. I don't think I can push this. So with that in mind, I think apparently the audio is cutting in and out.
Yeah, I got that notification.
That's very frustrating. Things people want to hear in a live stream.
I don't think our audio is not working. That's definitely one you don't want to hear.
Yeah, that's right. All right, let's have a look. So, I don't think I can use Falcon. So, and that's the other thing people don't want to hear. So.
And just fill the silence.
Cool beans, cool beans. Perfectly timed memes. All right, let's take a look at Django. Oh, I don't even know if I can bring myself to use Django though. I've heard something in like an NPy or so Python statically typed. This would be interesting to use.
MyPy, there it is. Optional experimental typing for Python. Yeah, we're probably going to use this so we get some typed stuff happening and use it in conjunction with Django, which is quite literally the biggest web framework for Python that there is. Oh, I'm waiting for someone to say, dude, just use Ruby. In which case... Huh?
I've never used Ruby, so I can't judge on that one.
In which case I'd say to them, well, have you heard of Crystal Lang? Crystal Lang is so boss.
I've heard of it more than I think I should have.
I mean, look at this page. Look at this beautiful page, and check this out. This thing is flickable. If I had a touchscreen, it'd be so much better. Ready? Can't do it.
I respect you trying though.
There we go. I flicked it a little bit. Again, way too much time spent flicking a crystal. Alright, so crystal's awesome. It looks like Ruby. You can potentially not include types when you're doing it if you don't want to, but there is a type system, and type systems are awesome because you catch bugs before. Obligatory yawn. Yeah, you catch type errors and all those sorts of things way before you deploy. You catch them at compile time. I really love that. It's got some concurrency models that are pretty close to Go's as well. If you need a concurrency model in your application, so it's really cool. It also has its own like web framework called Kamal. It's really, really fast, but it's just not there yet. Like it's really, I'd liken it to Express.js if you use Node. Yeah, so I think that's enough discussion. What we are probably going to do, actually, let's see if there's a rethink DB Django attachment, because that's one thing I want to see. Like if I can get rethink happening with Django's ORM, there's no simple way ever of simple. Oh man, don't you hate seeing a no answer? Why can't more people be yes people? Like, yeah, man, we can do that. We just have to do this. And then it's okay. Like you're like, oh, okay, that's a lot harder than I thought, but at least you got a yes, and that makes life more positive. I saw Nick's hand move. Like, yeah, that's a. Oh no, I'm not going to bother. Too late now. Okay, so Django doesn't support RethinkDB. According to 2016 May, we were currently in July of 2017. You'd think someone would have gone for it, hey? But no. So, let's try... Actually, can I ask you, Nick, to do me a tremendous favour?
What's up?
Would you mind grabbing glasses from the kitchen cupboard?
You know, I thought about that like 5 minutes in.
I was like, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so did I.
The jug's like up behind there, probably, hopefully out of streaming sight, but it exists. That would be very helpful.
What about Sarah's watching this?
Hey?
What about Sarah's just chilling and watching this?
Yeah. Alright, so now that we've refreshed everything...
Yep, I think we're back.
No. Oh, we are?
Yep.
We are. We can at least see the right content on the screen. Boss. Now let's see if we're back with audio.
No, we are. I can see that.
Oh, yes. Woo! Alright, so on the cards is to fix our audio system, which happens to be a problem with our video system. So that's good fun. That's very good fun. And surprisingly, Brayson had none of these problems when he was streaming the other night as well.
Probably broke it and then was like, stop streaming now.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
Thanks, Bryson, for when you watch this.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's once watched any of the streams I've done.
Shame.
I know. What a champ. What an absolute champ.
I'm sitting here producing and he can't even watch it.
I know, right? Alright, let's get rid of that because I don't want to increase my stats when I don't need to. Video output low. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Yeah, that's pretty sucky. So the other thing that needs to be replaced is that computer, because that computer is just absolutely collapsing. And 27. Look, I think with all the problems we've had tonight, it's just time to call it quits. To say we're done. We're over. We're never gonna have a YouTube stream again. I was trying to do a PewDiePie there.
Yeah, nah.
I just can't do the Swedish accent. That's one of the accents I cannot do. One of these accents Dan cannot do. Anyway, alright, cool. Well, guys, look, it's been real. Thank you for putting up with all the crazy tech problems we have. We've probably got, I don't know, $4,000 worth of equipment now to buy as a result of finding out where these issues are. So, yeah, that's going to be fun. It might be a while before we're back. At least if we come back, it's going to be glitchy as heck, as per usual. But yeah, thanks for sticking with us. We'll keep working on Mental better. We'll catch you up where we've been as we continue to work on it. We'll do some blogging somewhere. We'll figure that out.
Bishizzle.
Bishizzle. Manizzle. Yeah, so we'll put this stuff up. Make sure you guys are on top of it, see what we're up to, keep on track, and hopefully you guys can sort of pick up from some of the stuff that we're doing to make this startup happen. And hopefully you guys can get your startups or your tech stuff out there, just like we're doing. Have a fantastic night. That's Nick's sign off.
Yeah, that's basically it from me.
All right, guys. That's all from us. Have a good night.